Good morning, everybody out there in YouTube land and all our viewers out there and chatters in the chat room. Glad to see you out there on this Thursday morning, the 30th day of June. We're kissing June goodbye. Half the year is gone today. Beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Indiana. Sun is shining, getting hot already today. Birds are chirping, flying around outside the window of the studio here. And we're just glad to be with everybody. And I'm running the helm this morning because Pat has a few things that he has to do. And he's going to give us an update on the fire story. So we'll just turn it over to Pat. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, just a quick, brief update. It's only 5% containment, still as of this morning. I'm trying to bring it up so you guys can see it. I'm just waking up, guys, so just bear with me here for a minute. There you go. If you guys can see it, Crow Peak Fire jumped the road and comes near homes. So they're doing their best to try to contain this thing. They brought in crews from Alaska, Michigan, Minnesota. They brought in a bunch of crews to help contain this thing. From where I live, I would say it's maybe 7 or 8 miles from my house to where the fire is at. Because there's a little gully that separates the two mountains where I'm at and where this is at. So
how close does it have to get before you run?
It would have to get on top of us before we would run. We were supposed to get some rain last night, but it kind of teased everybody. It kind of did a couple drops and then it said ha ha and ran. I blamed it on Fran because the video I did last night, she actually spoke on video, and I was like, that's why the rain went away, because you spoke on camera. So yeah, there's found out that there's a community meeting here this afternoon, which I'm going to go to, so we can get further updates on what is going on up there and what we're going to have to do to prepare. Like I said, around my house and stuff, we got it pretty well cleaned up, but it's so damn dry out here. When you walk, you can feel the grass just crumpling underneath your feet. So maybe later today or something, I'll throw something at Brenda and we can come up live so you guys can see it. But there's no rain in the near future for us right now, but we are in such a drought. People are sitting on edge out here right now. So, you know, one firefighter was taken to the hospital for dehydration. It's been hot out here, so I don't know what else to say. Like I said, they're doing a community meeting, so I'm going to go to that and see. They're supposed to give us further updates and, you know, what the game plan is here. So just got to watch it and be careful right now. Brenda?
Well, all of our thoughts will be with you, Pat. We want you to stay safe above all. You keep safe and keep Fran and your puppy safe, and keep us posted. Let us know, you know, what's going on with you. You have my phone number, and you know, we care and we're thinking of you.
Well, like I said, I got so much stuff going on right here. You know, I'm not ignoring anybody. Jay, Link, all you guys in the chat room. And Kim, I'm not ignoring you. I just got so much stuff around here trying to figure out what the steps are in case this thing really takes off. I'll show you guys a video of where I live here in a little bit up on the mountain, so you can see how dry it is and where we're at compared to where the fire is at, so you guys know. But please understand, I'm not ignoring any of you guys. I'm just trying to make sure around our house is kept clean up of the pine cones and the pine needles and all that other crap. But that's about it, Brenda. I'm gonna go take care of this stuff, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, thank you, Pat. Be safe.
I will. Love yous.
Love you. All right. Wow, that is something going on out there. Woo-wee. Can you imagine? You're living in a place where the forest around you is on fire, and it's only like 7 miles from your house, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. Woo-wee. Anybody that thinks that we all don't have a life outside of YouTube need to think again. A friend of mine told me a long time ago, he says, if you don't have problems, you ain't living. I think that Pat and I, we've been doing a lot of living here lately. Mercy sakes alive. Well, we'll be sending him our best wishes to survive this ordeal that he's going through. And I have a few news articles that I wanted to bring to you today. The show might not be real long because, when I bring the news, I just kind of lay it out there. I don't give a whole lot of commentary on it because I figure you can all make your own mind up what you think about things. And, we're all supposed to be intelligent individuals here. I'm not here to tell everybody how to think. But the first one I'm going to bring up is about Andrews Air Force Base. It's under lockdown due to a reported active shooter this morning. Joint Base Andrews is on lockdown after an active shooter was reported at the Air Force Base. JBA's official Twitter account made the information public early Thursday morning. A U.S. Air Force spokesman at the Defense Department confirmed the active shooter lockdown at Andrews. It's real, said the Air Force spokesman. An active shooter exercise was also scheduled at the base Thursday morning, however. While testifying on Capitol Hill Thursday morning, Homeland Security Secretary J.E.H. Johnson noted the Senate that he could be called out of the Judiciary Committee oversight hearing because of the unfolding situation at JBA. JBA sent another tweet Thursday morning discussing the ongoing situation at the Malcolm Grow Medical Facility, reporting the presence of first responders on the scene. JBA posted further information to its Facebook page that acknowledged the drill that was supposed to take place. The base was scheduled to conduct an active shooter exercise. However, reports of the real-world active shooter situation were reported at Malcolm Grow Medical Facility, the Post read. President Obama touched down at Andrews Air Force Base Wednesday night after his visit to Ottawa. This article will be in the comment section for everybody to take a look at. It's off the CBS News website. So there you have the news. I also heard that Vice President Biden was there at the Air Force Base, and they whisked him out of there and got him under lockdown. I don't have that article in front of me, but take it as hearsay if you want to. But that's what I heard this morning. So that's what I know about the Andrews Air Force Base thing. Be interesting to see who they're going to blame that on. And the next one that I have, I got some information from someone last night about the Zika virus that we talked about yesterday. And they told me that 100% DEET applied to clothing only for children. And adults should avoid prolonged contact to the skin, or Promethean, which is also nasty stuff that you don't want on your skin. And then they told me that the U.S. government has a patent on the Zika virus. And they sent me a link. I'm flipping back and forth between pages and stuff here so that I can keep all this straight. But Zika virus, ATCC, with a registered trademark, VR84, and The name of the depositor was J. Casual's Rockefeller Foundation. The source is blood from experimental forest sentinel rhesus monkey, Uganda, in 1947. The year of origin is 1947. And I'm putting a link to this in the comment section, so you can all take a look at that if you want to. But apparently the Zika virus was patented in 1947 by the Rockefeller Foundation. Interesting. So you can make your own assumptions or attitudes on what you think about the Zika virus. But there you go on that. I wanted to give you that little update. Let's see. The next one that I got here, my computer's running just a touch slow this morning. Let's see if we can get this to cooperate with us a little bit. Well, maybe I'll just jump over that one and go to the next one while that page decides if it's wanting to load or not. And it doesn't look like that one's wanting to load either. Gee, okay, here's one. I found one that's working. This is the story about another mysterious death surrounding Hillary Clinton. Former UN General Assembly President was scheduled to testify in corruption trial involving the Black Widow of politics. Drops barbell on his neck. Just an accident or something much more, bigger than Vince Foster. The story reads, what do you think of the chances that while lifting weights, soon before you're scheduled to testify in a corruption trial involving Hillary Clinton and others, you accidentally drop the barbell and weights you were lifting upon your neck, ending your life and preventing your testimony? If you were the former president of the United Nations General Assembly, John Ash from Antigua and Barbuda, the odds became 100% just days ago after former president awaiting the bribery scandal trial was killed during a weightlifting accident after he was allegedly accidentally asphyxiated by the dropped weights. Ash's death thus adds one more name to an ever-expanding list of people who have mysteriously met their untimely ends and coincidentally or not had ties to either both Hillary Clinton and or her husband Bill, as heard in the first video below. And there's a video associated with this site. The story from page 6 tells us that the death of Ash could become bigger conspiracy theory than the death of Vince Foster, especially considering Hillary is now only one election away from becoming president of the USA. Seeing that that's the case, we felt it necessary to once again take a look at this ever-expanding Clinton body count that likely just had one more name added to it. How is it that the Clinton family has been surrounded by so many mysterious deaths? As of June 2015, at least 46 people who were close to the Clintons have met their untimely end. The ever-growing list kept by what really happened is just been updated for the 2016 election to include Ash's death, and the list is now up to at least 48. It is simply a coincidence, or excuse me, is it simply a coincidence that many people have mysteriously died around the Clintons, or is there something sinister at play, such as murder? Just knowing that Hillary is still running for president of the USA rather than being prosecuted, while the list of bodies that surrounds her and Bill continues to grow, shows how absolutely corrupt America has become and completely obliterates what the word justice is supposed to mean. If these people can get away with having so many people killed and are still walking the streets of America with Hitler now attempting to become president, law and order means absolutely nothing in this country anymore if our leaders can break the law anytime they want and have others killed. And the article goes on. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but that, that's the basic gist of it. My goodness, I don't want to be their friends. You could come up missing really quick. Holy moly. Wow. Okay, let's see. I've got one here called The Corruption Chronicles. This is off the Judicial Watch. Law enforcement sources. Gun used in Paris terrorist attacks came from Phoenix. One of the guns in the November 13th, 2015 Paris attacks came from Phoenix, Arizona, where the Obama administration allowed criminals to buy thousands of weapons illegally in a deadly and futile gun walking operation known as Fast and Furious. A report investigation filed a case agent in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives tracked the gun used in the Paris attacks to a Phoenix gun owner who sold it illegally off book. Judicial Watch's law enforcement sources confirmed. Federal agents tracing the firearm also found the Phoenix gun owner to be in possession of an unregistered fully automatic weapon, according to law enforcement officials with firsthand knowledge of the investigation. The investigative follow-up of the Paris weapon consisted of tracking a paper trail using 4473 form, which documents a gun's ownership history by, among other things, using serial numbers. The Phoenix gun owner that the weapon was traced back to was found to have had at least 2 federal firearm violations for selling one weapon illegally and possessing an unregistered automatic, but no enforcement or prosecutorial action was taken against the individual. Instead, ATF leaders went out of their way to keep the information under the radar and ensure that the gun's owner identity was kept quiet, according to law enforcement officials or law enforcement sources involved with the case. Agents were told in the process of taking the fully auto or not to anger the seller to prevent him from going public, a veteran law enforcement official told Judicial Watch. And that article goes on. I've hit the high points on it. It appears to me, now your mileage may vary, but it appears to me that when they come up with all these rules and regulations on the gun ownership, which is unconstitutional in the first place because it says shall not be infringed, they kind of pick and choose where they're going to enforce these regulations. And I don't see how they get away with that, but apparently they do. Because they knew this guy was in violation and they just kept letting him get away with it and turning their heads. And then we had the Paris attack. Wow. Okay, well, we've got that one going. And let's see if these other pages. It says Shockwave ain't working, so we'll get that going again and see if these other ones will come up. Running a little bit slow here on the uptake. Okay, this one. The Canada Parliament wishes Obama 4 more years. I was kind of shocked by that. We'll read it here and we'll let you guys be the judge. This is off the Associated Press. Ottawa, Ontario. The latest on U.S. President Barack Obama's summit Wednesday with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Mexican President Enrique Pena Nieto, 6:50 p.m. And let's see, the date on this is June the 29th, so this is yesterday's. Canada's Parliament broke into chants of 4 more years as President Barack Obama wrapped up the first address there by a U.S. leader since 1995. 4 years of Obama amounts to wishful thinking. He's nearing the end of his 2nd term in office and speaks fondly of life after the presidency. His term ends in mid-January 2017. The U.S. Constitution bars him from running for a 3rd term. Thank goodness. Canada's lawmakers also greeted Obama, who is popular in Canada, with a rousing standing ovation after he arrived in the House of Commons. The reception prompted Obama to joke that the extraordinary welcome tempted him to just shut up and leave. He spoke for nearly an hour. At 6:15 p.m., President Barack Obama is highlighting the ties that bind the U.S. and Canada. In a speech to the Canadian Parliament, Obama is talking about the armies of tourists and business people who cross the U.S.-Canada border daily to shop or go to work. He says the only battle between the countries takes place inside a hockey rink. Obama says that while too many borders produce conflict around the world, the U.S. and Canada are united by the longest border of peace on earth. He says that despite their differences, the U.S. cannot ask for a better friend or ally than Canada. Obama's speech to Canada's parliament is the first by an American president since Bill Clinton in 1995. And then this is running in reverse as far as timeline is concerned. At 5:10 p.m., President Barack Obama has arrived on Parliament Hill for his address to Canada's parliament. Obama was greeted by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife Sophie Trudeau before they approached a crowd of school children to shake hands and exchange high fives. The three then walked back along a red carpet and into Parliament Center block where the two leaders began a private meeting. Obama will become the 9th American leader to address Parliament and the first to do so since President Bill Clinton in 1995. And then there's more to it going back in timeline, but you know that's basically it. And this link will also be in the description of the video, so you can look at that at your leisure if you choose. And I'm still waiting for this other one to load. I don't know why it's giving me a hard time here. Let's see. Well, it's just giving me a rough way to go. Okay, I got it. Wow, that was hard work. This one is entitled Supreme Court Leans Left in the Wake of Antonin Scalia's Death. The Supreme Court's the Supreme Court's just completed October 2015 term was supposed to mark a dramatic comeback for the tribunal's once dominant contingent of 5 conservative justices. After taking it on the chin in the previous term on a variety of hot-button issues, including same-sex marriage, the legality of Obamacare's income tax credits, and racial discrimination under the Fair Housing Act, conservatives were thought to have a 5-4 voting advantage on a slew of, let's see, let me bubble this up a little bit so I can see. When you get old, I'll tell you what, your eyesight is pitiful. You know, I don't know if that helped me or not. Okay. Back up on that. Conservatives were thought to have a 5-4 voting advantage on a slew of new politically charged cases at this time around. With the panel's resident firebrand, Justice Antonin Scalia, heading the charge, the big question was whether the court's right flank would hold together as it tackled new appeals on affirmative action, public employee unions, Obamacare's contraception mandate, presidential powers over deportation policy, and abortion rights. But before any of the most controversial decisions were rendered, Scalia died in his sleep in February while on a hunting vacation. His passing was without question a defining moment and a historical watershed, combined with the Senate's refusal to hold hearings on the presidential nomination of a successor. District of Columbia Circuit Court Judge Merrick Garland, Scalia's demise left the court in a potentially crippling 4-4 ideological stalemate. From a judicial standpoint, stalemate is rarely a good thing, especially in the halls of the nation's most powerful legal body, which is tasked with providing the final answers to the most pressing questions of constitutional law. Basically, when the Supreme Court divides eventually or evenly in a case, it has 3 options. It can defer rendering a decision and hold the matter over until it can be reconsidered the following term. It can refrain from issuing a decision in the merits and reprimand a case back to the lower courts, or it can issue a 1-sentence per curiam, I guess, order declaring simply that the judgment of the lower court is affirmed, an outcome that establishes no new legal precedent and in effect operates to leave the lower court ruling intact. So how did the dynamic of an 8-member court play out sans Scalia? Here's my scoreboard from the term biggest opinions. The 4-4 decision. With Scalia gone, the court issued 4 evenly split per curiam affirmances. There came in major cases 2 of which resulted in liberal victories and 1 in conservative win. The biggest liberal gain concerned public employee unions and so-called fair share fees in Fredericks versus California Teachers Association, decided in March. Fredericks was the 3rd time since 2012 that the court had been asked to determine whether assessing partial fair share fees in lieu of full dues on non-union employees to help cover the costs of collective bargaining amounted to a coerced speech in violation of the First Amendment. Giving the tenure of the oral argument conducted in January when Scalia was alive and irascible as ever, the unions seemed poised to sustain a crippling defeat. But in his absence, the panel deadlocked. The association's victory before the Ninth Circuit was preserved, and the fair share system and public unionism as a whole averted a massive setback. And then it goes on with some other court cases that they dealt on. This goes on for another page and a half, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the link will be in the description of the video, so you can look at that. So I thought that was interesting. They're leaning left in the wake of Scalia's death. So there you pretty much have the articles that I had for you today, and the show's not going to be as long as it normally is. I hope that I brought you some interesting things for you to ponder, some things for you to research and check out on your own. We're going to be thinking about Pat today. I sure hope you do. Send him your prayers, your thoughts, your best wishes. Send him some energy, because I know that's about to wear him out there. He's not been able to sleep at night because of all the smoke. And you know, if they try to run the air conditioner, it pulls smoke into the house. They have to keep the windows shut up. He's running around trying to keep everything cleared away from the side of the house to keep the fire from catching with pine trees and stuff out there, trying to save his home. It's a horrible, horrible situation. And I know that a lot of times you don't stop to think about it. You know, you see people online and they're your friends, and you think that, oh, you know, there's my buddy online, I'll talk to him a while. But you don't stop to think about it. They have a life outside YouTube. We all have a life outside YouTube. And, you know, we have problems and things going on in our life that nobody knows about. We don't air them normally unless it's an emergency situation. Sometimes you just don't want people to know things that's affecting you. So, you know, just remember, be kind to people, because they're traveling a path just the same as you are. And with that, I'm going to cut her loose today and wish you all the best for the rest of your day. Tomorrow's Friday. Will be, well, kind of depends on what Pat's up to. What I kind of have in mind for tomorrow is it's Fright House Friday. You know, who knows what we're liable to do tomorrow. As far as I know, at this point, I don't think I got a guest or anything for tomorrow. So, you know, we may just be cutting up with y'all in the chat room if you're up to it. If not, maybe we'll dig up a couple of news articles or something. And who knows? Who knows? It'll be anything goes. So with that, we're going to turn y'all loose, and we'll see y'all tomorrow at noon Eastern time.